Sinaya Yeshi and the home Kitahon na Yedin Common. And son of me frasi, and perhaps no mammy mon share this. Some bar, and yes, a Sabica fracture, Sabia Yadu, Ubinia Jumabi, and Abia Yaba. The Bimaginus once you are on TikTok, perhaps Sabi, a fracture. That is not it. Obia one way the choir offer so or advertise it a dear Naniama. Me GD TV and TikTok never boa. I may frasi and so no. Nim dear for a dancer for a badger man, bebre. And the support, has been very encouraging and very tremendous. But like in every society, we have been one doctor Samwabi, or Tabaso, or Bano, Babidiatem. I don't know this Dr. Samwa, but Obio named this Dr. Samwa. Bon cancer. Just a be a baha, and Yanas is a beto. And you named dear. And I had a bachelor, and I had a factory. So, wherever you are, many short many is me invite you, be say, come, Obiamla meeting me, daddy. But I think that, but Namia, a month for the joining. Until I bones a baby, we see my joining. So, no one's OBTB, now also one and top wabia or the other. So, this Mr. All-Known Dr. Samoa, I think you well him no wa ben so catch and say, and yet sabi, this is a platform for reference. It is not a platform for reference. I owe him no apology. It is not a platform for reference. And I owe him no apology. So, we being a reference can exhibit ignorance. We have all issues with civility and maturity. You can't some children some munia bakusim. We are champion and a curiosity bonkoso. Oh, mammy did it. That was all. But ya, you mean appear and a judge. Kofi Amponsa, Anopoku, Mayamba Askwadu, Prince Osebonsu, Kosika Princess of Mechia, among four baby. One more bear me, one more chimina, Anaquami. Appear banana kwame on the tone, Mechiano, Bohema, George Bob Bohema on the tone. Mechia million and now for Mechia people for Nina, Mechia Ghana for Nina. And then you made a Frasiano Obey Mechia Nana Japicum pursue mine. Na omo afasha omo yeno kama no and amanfo omo koye on say eyakrabehwe and amanfo bebre so asande nansam no kan bi abrene gidi se mo so nyina amate pa bebrate na nkasa yi mu no okasa Japikumfo omo kasanteman. I am particular about this statement because some unnecessarily have been attacking me. Some kasa Japikum ka asanteman, sekwa ka asanteman, sampa ka asanteman, banna ka asanteman, bekum ka asanteman, ewiaduma se ka asanteman, nkranza ka asanteman. When I raise these issues, among for others out of ignorance, a man think and something, and also to bottom of woman. You raise these issues, even out of ignorance. I was born region there, Benina Bay, I born for. There's nothing wrong, say for, but we are dealing with scholarly work. Scholarly work. So, I know failure to understand the issue in myself. I don't know what to say, the people, man, and he said this in the presence of the president of the Bono Regional House of Chiefs. I am in America. I am in America. He said, "The mati. Intimua, Mosoria, you hate to hear the name Asante Mano. Mubifu ne say. Or he don't can. And I'm told on authority. So a mom by Japekurum, no nipa bebre him Asante flag. Bebre, that is quite serious and quite interesting. When we him was Japekurum Asante flag, I'm told on authority to say, Sampa for now, mobile, the motor, you buy any now or more corner, the him Asante flag. And I've said this several times, me Santini, me Santini, me Papa Santini. I'm a very principled lawyer, honest lawyer, and a very principled politician, an honest politician, and a very good statesman. So, wow, that platform be so maybe with me Freddy deal, Obiri Boahen, why say Obiri Boahen, why say. And apparently, one man or my friend, been free drop. Drop is just a stone through to Japikrum. And you know what drop, and now what here, Bruchire, Germany, wherever you are, now what you say. Japekrum fire or now him as Santa Flana Japekrum in Akokase. Omoki member of is a member of the Santiman Council. Na if I say, Menya Santini, Menya Santini, Papa Santini. So how do you brand it? It's a matter for intellectual exercise. It is not that the Intiantiamu Sabekasahun. And I'm pretty sure me the brofono fra because I na binuma benti twino. O mono person nka menya no brofo me so me menya no brofo me ye no metwi ya. Nti na mesra mo me de fra no. Enye boapaye se me de brofo no ewuro but se ne a wo mo so a wo monte no. O monte no twi no papa no. Munye duruma wo no. On so metemati. So that is the issue. That is the issue. And me say nana Thomas Tafla ana sampla man na obabi me te say kwaso so a baby. So it was and I te say brekum so a baby. So once again Asante man no number. So Obiri Boahen will be nkan be dem fi me domase number 2. Dem fi me domase number 1. Na ya woman number 2. Na mtim baby. Na me dwene me ho. So why this insult? And the paramount chief of Japekrom Puasu no to the name to say Japekrom Puasu for ye member of the Asante Mine Council. Simple. So you go back. Any mature person will go back, sit down, nampa, na yampa. So why? I don't know, lawyers, some lawyers. A lawyer for, doctor for, medical doctors, lecturers, teachers. And you can imagine. No, Mama make SMBC ran down to the 2024 elections. Campaign na man for being no drobo sumahinkro sampa jamra di baby I don't know campaign motuma MPP Obiri Boahen de yenkonya ni nyina bakwa kwasha Asante ase as if I control that Asante for secretary That was the campaign. To man pipi. Na makoto. Na yaba. Na Ghana fatwa. MPP allusion. But the more interesting thing, we catch on say, it will be at this issue, a year, the nyansa na tase. Nyansa. After the 2024 elections, Anna Birimde Namuye campaign, and I say, you know, the national chairman of the NDC is from the Bono region. The minister for chieftaincy also Obiri Boahen region. But after the elections, fear pre. Konyano Omapeja Abeno Brampong. During the NDC time with President Mahama as the president. What do you say to that? The baby MPP winning with the baby Krubuta. MPP winning with the baby. The baby has now been elevated to the status of Brampong during the era of President Mahama. So what do you also say to that? What do you also say to that? Like I've been saying, Sampa, no, I am from so I usually don't talk about Sampa because I know the parties very well. But you know, issues like this, Sampa, so have been gazetted. Not MPP type. What do you say to that? And you know, somebody thinks that you now other now we are lawyer own politics and I will catch it and see. That is a statement coming from somebody perhaps who has a problem. Do I say a mental problem? Yes. Me can't back some. Me can't answer. Me ya back some. Me ya answer. So who is a politician? Also, just because Obiri Boahen is in the MPP, I should not be talking about history. I should not be talking about politics. I should not be talking about law. I go all over. So please, me the mamu for addition there. Na what you want to say? When you be bro for say for you to do politics. So or try French or try Latin. So I don't. There was a politics in the crowd or try who spell it. Who spell it? And so what to bundle? You want to advertise so you mean spell politics? So what to bundle? So better. Now that's why we free France. So that is the first issue. We will revisit it. Another issue for discussion this morning. Or two for something. I am Mampusi Assemno. Na what the country be as or the command Mampani. Na Mampani answer so I can know better. Why would Castle Peso who Chocosino? I'm sorry, next time I will talk about Chokosi. That I'm sorry, that's it. Now, for a start, I just got him also from London. For a start, near 2 4 years near mediation and near arbitration. near otumfo ye no in law, in history, in whatever, a friend no mediation. And mediation is different from arbitration. Mediation is a nisiesie afanu no ntam. Mediation. Ubetimi asiesie afanu A and B. O kan na o de yenye ni say. Then we the mempene. We the mempene. We mumie no beti makase ya pene so. Wa mumie no beti makase ya pene so. Eye mediation, enye arbitration. In arbitration there, mpem bebre no ni o siesie no siesie wia. Ni obeka no. Ni obeka no. The parties are bound. A B. That is arbitration. But in mediation, the parties are not bound. So right from the word go, mama yenyina yenyintum na yenhu se ni otumfo beka ama mpanyini mahama so the nsa be hwase obe implement no. Eye mediation. One party can say yeah the yenyintum na koye hwete some. So that is the essence. That is the essence of mediation, between mediation and arbitration. So that is the word from the word go. Adia but anyway now otumfo once again yadanase or the na koma President Mahama. So yehwe so President Mahama edensa be hwase na waka. If you ask me, obia makwadare wo abakosem, obia makwadare wo abasem, ene amanyesemu no, ene abakosem, ene law adwumamu no. I'm not being pessimistic, but mejidi se nsusuye we no anase nya otumfo aye no. President Mahama betimi di ababontenana. President Mahama betimi ababontene ana. Well, let's wait. And that's all hope. And let's pray. So President Mahama or the babonten. But you know, if you be Samia, so what do you say? I'm not being pessimistic, but Begini said, Enyemere. Eyetare. What? Ofa mampusi kusasi issue no. Netia man yetare no say. Two different groups. The Mampusis and the Kusasis. Obia na odwene se otumfo bekane say no nyina no. Dabi. Audio so wo hwe statement no kra mu issue ye no a. Omo capture ni ye. Omo capture statement ni ye. Oh yeah no boko unhuha. Sana or the command president no. Anasa wa contingent. Chiao Majoso. Abana US, formerly of ADB, Mechiao Majoso. And all crab is so aquaba. So, enyamre, no, because the tema kusasi man procedure no, one mutie me no. Nente man ya tare ne se. Enyamre to say dagomba for de no. Na ya budu andani. One group abudu andani. Omo nyina dagbon. To say atapeni na atakuma. Anti say wo hie bentam. Oya no kasa nyemu nyina mo maameni, nyemu nyina mo nanani. Eno no almost to me soft wo stand no. But abudus anandanis no one ancestor nana baako wo sa no. Contrast with the mamprisi kusasis. We free her. Ano na mama ya meka se twika sam se enyemre wo tare twika sam tare. Now two Mamprisi for no the first chief of Boko in 1721 was a Mamprisi. The first chief of Boko 1721 was a Mamprisi. Mamprisi for no dia bedru 1958. So 1721 to 1958. You can do the calculation. About 230 something years. So the first non-Mamprisi Ebedi Boko Kunyan was in 1958. Was in 1958. You know. So it makes it difficult for us. So, 1721 to 1958. It makes it very difficult. Now, in 1958, that was the time CPP a buyer. In looking at the Boko history, no Boko issue, no. You need to go back, say, so there they see in 1958. Non-Mamprisi Bedia Kunyan. Now let's look at the two sides. The Kusasis are saying that Wamuna a original Asasiuran. Nomuna Timho. So before 1721, Kusasis are saying, say, no matiho. And history and say the Kusasis no now omono ye Kindanama omono nye centralized government. It's like when you study the history of the Frafres. Enti omonya centralized government no. The Mamprisis, this is what the Kusasis are saying. The Mamprisis imposed, or they all welcomed the centralized system of administration from 1721. And they are the original settlers. The Mamprisis also are saying, no, didn't Boko Korayan, I told that in a farming area in a valley. Didn't Boko. But in actual fact, if you ask me, say my candid opinion between the Kusasis and the Mampusis, we will some who any Kasantri and Yatindi. In actual fact, if you ask me, I will say, sir, so it looks like the Kusasis history no said they were the early settlers. I am inclined to side with the Kusasis. That is my personal position. I may be wrong, I may be right. So if you are Mampusi, don't be offended. If you are Kusasi, don't be offended. We are going into the history. And then Amka said, the Mampusis are saying that, oh, they settled there first. But the Kusasi, but me personally, personal, so please, if you are Mampusi, don't insult. If you are the Kusasi, don't insult. But of course, I must be candid. I may start a program, we won't take a Mampusi if we do what them. We won't take a Kusasi if we do what them. I must be very candid. The Mampusi for now, we are almost so tear because of the Kusasi for so tear. So, sir, attention now, more than mammy. I don't know, say, more come namonya bako. Nkamu namonya bako na yinto. Going forward. Now, in 1958, obviously they need bisa leader to be witnesses in this case. Of course, the nimsa niya eko so. Now, you cannot talk of Mampusi, Kusasi, and without Abrawonka Bisa Busanga for Abrawon Wonka or Moso Asem, the Bisa or the Busanga. Because one more Abako Samapa. When we talk of Bisa or Busanga, we are talking for the Kulungungu area honina. Omuna ye from Bisa for Anabusanga. Kulungungu honina. So that is the way our mono answered it. So cannot talk. I think that whichever way Bisa for better dance for. Of course, one person ni kasa obe free Bisa ni so media dance here. Kusani kusasi ni so kasa. Also, Buffalo Bisa in so media dances. So I agree. Media crowd in Cabesi, anybody, Busanga for the and so good. None can also a year, me near about you said, no food. Until ye me no Dakoro. Now, the issue as still, please. Sometimes you don't ask me to tell Ken Japan or tell Baumia. We don't know the purpose of what we are doing. What kind of life is that? Or that because you have a bundle and just you want to let the world know so you have a bundle, tell Ken Japan, tell Baumia. Why? If you are not prepared to listen to what I'm saying, just relax. Please. How many Ghanaians, how many lawyers, how many politicians, how many intellectuals in Ghana, anya daje echiro sa nsemwe? So, like I said, I'm sorry, sir, I'm on for better. Like I said, in 1958, Kwame Nkrumah went to Boko in 1956. Now, Okoye, reception now, because in 1956, Boko was the seat of the Northern People's Party. It was the seat of the Northern People's Party. So Kwame Nkrumah reception in 1956, Mona a very the Northern People's Party for the year, na a hagene. I think the dear said, that very day. So Kwame Nkrumah felt as a CPP Sunyam more than a Boko. And se CPP benya hodena SSA oko support one side. And you know, the Northern People's Party no akita for tintin for akase for no mo ye mampusi for. So Kwame Nkrumah CPP through CPP fund do mo we kota kusasi for nochi. So the then Bokunaba ano emamprusi no. A law was made, a law was passed, Emma Yabani free 13 kilometers out of Boko. And you know, it should be 13 kilometers out of Boko. So, Okotana Burkina Faso. So the Kusasis enskined Bokonaba. Now, when the Kusasis enskined Bokonaba in 1958, Kwame Nkrumah was there from 1966. So, in 1966, after 24 February 1966, now I'm to Kwame Nkrumah. One issue ni. Now, in 1967, the NLC, Kwame Nkrumah, they passed the NLC Decree 112 in 1967. And NLC Decree 112 no, actually say NLC Decree 112 no actually say hene bia CPP abane Kwame Nkrumah abane peja wo beye man hene ana beye wo hene no with the passage of NLC Decree 112. Shana confirm san konya ufribare. Now it affected more than 500 chiefs, including the Boko Naba then. Enti affected Chebi Ufurata Kwame Nkrumah ye pam Ufuriata Nwanchi affected Nwanchi affected Duaya Nkwanta affected Offenso affected Mampo affected Bichim affected Nkrobebre. So with the passage of NLC Decree 112 no san krono nyina enya problem Nwanchi Duaya Nkwanta Offenso Mampong, Boko, Yendi, Tubodom, Ebebre, Chebi, Bebre, I had no actually. So the Mamprusi Boko na Banwa, Omoye Marapam no 1958 no, had to come back to occupy the Boko Naba. The Boko skin and became the Boko Naba. Wow, how delicate it is. And natural fact, let me be very honest, and yet Boko Yendi so. Kwame Nkrumah. So most of the chieftaincy problems, you know, you want to pay the brain. Utresia. In fact, in Japekrum Crown, NLC Decree 112 affected Japekrum. NLC Decree 112 affected Japekrum. The Japekrum so cry can NLC Decree 112. Japekrum can. Now, okay, but I was very educative the first time I would see, but that's it. So you can see it there. After 1966, 24 February 1966, now the Memprises at Sanababe champion a war Boko. Fast forward. Sunyane, yeah, maybe that fee. Sunyan so NLC decree 112 affected Sunyane. NLC decree 112 affected Sunyane. And you realize that about a detention. So between Odomasi number 2 and Sunyane problem, no, and I was on NLC decree 112. In fact, actually, the Japan global problem, no, and no one. NLC decree 112 can be. Boko, Yendi. Mamponko nyasam na problems bi wo na taba no. NLC decree 112 can. Bechem. Kukuum. So now, let me come back to Boko. So the man process came. So you realize that in 1969-70, Abuzia Bayano, I just said Mamprisi for Abanaba. Sana Mekam, Mamprisi for Yabanaba. Yabanaba. And therefore, Kusasi also felt uneasy. The Mamprisi Apeja Bensa Yabanaba. Because the Mamprisi are saying say Yabana Bay because they are saying they are looking at it from 1721. Na yedi boku na ba. Abedu 1958. 1958 na bani bi pam ye. Na 1967 wa pam sa abana no. 66 so 1969 something Yabana yaba. So you see that. So Yabana ban, then Buzia or Mutuno. Then once again, a champon directly or indirectly involved administration of Boko. So now you can also have the Kusasi say, hey, Yanya Faudi, yes, Yabanaba, your Payasamaba, Yesushanimaba, your Betty Yasamaba, and that was also the problem. So the Mamprisis also, they had to go back. No, I'm quoting baby. Eddie Agirahu. Now, a champion Sokoye, a kufu by a brief period. Then Hilal Imam also came. Hilal Imam, and Diana. Yabana Bakura Bibeka, it will be the Kusasis. The Hilal Imam. So in 1982-83, Rollins Abba. Then you have the Kusasis who say, Yabana Bay. It is like when the Kusasis were shouting, Yabana Bay. Dandanis were also shouting, Yabana Bay. And if you go to Achimopwakwa, those against Ufuriata were shouting, Yabana Bay. And if you come to Sunyani, Sunyanforo will be shouting, Yabana Bay. I mean, so you can look at the scenario. Look at the scenario. Why will you be here? You look at the scenario. And if you look at the scenario, you realize, hey, that's not the end. But you know, the passage of PNDC law 75. Because you see, somewhere along the line, the matter went to court. Lisa forget it. And the Mamprisis lost, but they won at the Court of Appeal. They won at the Court of Appeal. Then somewhere along the line, they came to the regional house. The Mamprisis won. No, but Rollins came then in 1983. Rollins passed the PNDC law 78. And no, PNDC law 78, you know. And no sukra na ba ho ade ne no diko. You look at law 78 now. to aso kase NRC decree 112 no ne effective boko no PNDC law 78 na twam and that the Mamprusi ni no ano ye boko na aba no as amra no wawu no we should take it say yemfa no say wani akonya kora wani anya boko na aba. That is how PNDC law 78 made it. Mentioning Timubio Mamprusi ni no a obeye boko na aba no o kotra Burkina Faso 1958 dia no akire osana baaye no PNDC law 78 yeah I think 78 or 75 sorry I stand to it I think 78 or 75 no I think 75 no we twa na konya no obedi ni wo boko no obeye boko na aba no wa hyeagu tintan ma bia amfra ne hene ebra wawu no ma bia nka so ye nana nti se yegu nsan kora ma ye monitini efri se tintan no onye hene. That was a decree passed by Rollins at the time when hene no. And no, you think that the Mamprusis accept this? What they can okra wa wutie mi so we Mamprusinia. Whether you are boko, whether you are wale, whether you are gabaga, whether you are narengu, what is that? Can okra na so ye Mampru wherever you are. We are Mamprusinia. What did he say? Will you take it? So once again, Rollins is so bad. So if you look at the history, look at what. But people, some also will tell you, say, perhaps from the Kusasi point of view, they will tell you, say, Lord, Kwame Nkrumah and Rollins, but me hunu so no. Na situation na ho no se be hu ye ne se ne sitie no. Na ma wo so yes amra. That is the this is what the Kusasi man. So while the Mamprusi man or a neutral observer will say Rollins and Kwame Nkrumah be hunu so no man ye duko especially Rollins no. Cause Rollins decree tended to the extent Obia will say yen twam yen twa hene no what ye me no me no wa wutie mi so papa wo nana wo for wawu o ye hene no wawu na because mum money dini na we dey ye fa no se wanye hene how will you take it? So that is a problem. Then and never home. So Rollins. So you see, anytime pro PND NDC or CPP Babano dynamics, you know, that's the same. Anytime you have the UP, the dynamics is that. But no, let's be very honest. So party what me aboa Kusasi for pa I believe it to be the MPP of Nanado. Party aboa Kusasi pa because you see it was the Nanado 2409 and I said wow tintan and that boko traditional setup no Abu Drago Kusasi on a man Dankran Zilo 2409 of 2020 Dankran. But on the other hand side, the RPP Nanado also helped the Mamprusis. Let me also be fair. Because they also created a region, northeast region. Now, Nairi. When we say Nairi, actually say we are seeing a Mamprusi for Panini. As we are seeing Santa for Omo panyini ya asante. Wiase nyina gonjafo panyini ya abonwura. Wiase nyina dagombafo panyini ya ana. Wiase nyina mamprusi panyini nayiri. So the NPP also created a full regime for Nayiri Namprusi because that Northeast, NPP for me say tin time Northeast na ya create Obia may president pure we are sick of you should be back. Just say whoever is occupying the Nayiri skin. The Mamprusi, the Narungu, who is the Nayiri. You see it? So in actual fact, if you want to be sincere, from 6 March 1957, Ghana nya family. Political party ultimate balance ye so much can no kore san so much can no kore yes okay yen hwe ni say ye is the New Patriotic Party under Nana Akufo-Addo and Dr. Obiri Boahen. So as a historian and somebody who has done a lot of the chieftaincy cases, I think that the NPP Dr. Boahen, NPP and Akufo-Addo, they did well because one jina akukodro so say ni besi yes yan NPP for yan mamprusi for tatomai yan mamprusi for payasam but yan so for how long ne betimi ma de aba ho sa nti yes so ye be recognize the kusasis na ya ma wo manhene na ya de zebila na ya de pusiga na num nyina ne nkura ka nyina be hye boku na ba a oye kusasi ni ase. So that is the build-up. And another while the kusasis were happy, the Mamprusis were not happy. Why? Because the Mamprusis are saying that, look, from 1721 to 1958, Mamprusi from Kwana dia Kunyan. Please I forget. I think that in 1860 there was no Bokunaba. Why? Because in history we have been told say the Mamprusis fought the Busangas. Of course, this is the Busangas contribution. Mamprusi for no, you're quiet. Mamprusi for no, you're quiet about that. Because the Mamprusis, what they tell us that from 1860 to 1870, there was no Bokunaba. Why there was no Bokunaba? On say, Akasaka 70. We don't have the answer. So it is the Busangas who have supported us to give us the answer. And they are saying that we fought the Mamprusis. And when we fought the Mamprusis, we defeated them. So there was a problem. So they couldn't bring a Bokunaba. And therefore, from 1860, for 10-year period, Yasan CC yentem, and Sana Mamprusi for at the Bokunaba. The Busangas confirm, Bisafono confirm the Mamprusi story. Say, Ampa, Muamudisune, no more cointia. So there's a year, maybe a fellow that happened. Yes, you see, somebody's comment on Lord Listowell's white paper. Yes, Lord Listowell's white paper. Nina ne Afariyabuanum committee, no. The recommendation. And I think that me born tofa me tofa na me Lord Listowell no ma. I'm not going to the substantive issue. The substantive issue is Mamprusi Kusasi problem. I don't think. And I know I share your view about lawless towards. I agree. It happened. Now, let's look at the issue very well again. After 2020, another issue. But let me go back again to history. If you go into history and you ask a yampa, say, Matisse, a sim maybe, Mamprisi for boa kusasi for Emma amanfo a omba take won. Mamprisi boa kusasi for ma they warded off the attack. The answer is yes, Ampa. As I was the comment section, I am switching off. If we cannot switch it off, so let's go on. Maybe next time when you come, you will see how we can do. But that's it. Wow, this comment by. But I think that sometimes comment section, so I don't perceive what is happening. Never mind. Thank you. Yeah. So that history is there. But once again, let's have it this way. As far as my memory serves me right, mention Dante say, yes, Mamprisi for Nukusasi for Akokon. I'm a Mamprisi for a defeated Kusasis. Mention Dante say. From a submission, no, maybe I can say there was, we have been told that there was in Adobe, young Dobi, and the buyer. But we are talking about the scheme. Now, let's come back again. After 2020, I had a problem that's the Diko. Now, after the passage of LI 2409 of 2020, Mamprisi for no say, well, yeah, they're from 1721 till 1958, brief period, 1983, Ebano. Yensi Bokunaba. So who Bokunaba bia Yekusasi? Yu Bokunaba bia Yekusasi. Anti Yansi Bisi Bokunaba. I have no way, many baby I make us you another baby. Why would you know? Why would you know? Whom na will draw conclusion because it's a delicate topic and it's a dicey topic and it's a very important topic and it's a very important discussion. So I must be fair and honest with my presentation. It will be unfair if I take sides. Because jina mamprisi chia meti, mi jina kusesi chia meti. So because jina obi echi suwa, ebema wa wutie mi no, unya proper presentation. So I must give an unbiased presentation. Na wa wutie mi no, you will draw your own conclusion. So the Mamprisis esi hene ewo boko na obesua kire na yiri ewo na leringo enti anu so kofa yoni ebaya. Now this was the MPP Nana Ado's time. That was the later part of Nana Ado. We say Mokosa tries other than the Kusasis. No, please, I won't buy that again. Please, I won't go there. What did you send me a second now? So, what we see here now, the Kusasis are saying, Yawo Boku Naba, who has been deserted, Abu Drago, Kusasi, MPP4, Monye, Monsa Matrama Yansha, Ama Mamprisi 4, I see him Boko, Ama Wabesha, Ama Nayiri Wanaringo, Monye. Then the MPP4, some of them intellectuals, they are saying that, look, the government doesn't involve herself in chieftaincy. And he said, Mamprisi for besi boku naba. Na waba beso achire ni overlord Nigeria. We can't do anything. That is the defense of the MPP. Of course, the MPP will be right. But hold on, Presto, once again, something happened. Niaman prison for sin Boku na Bano. Ah, Obesai won na Yiri Hona living Guno. Omo de ba Bolagatanga High Court. Now on the bar High Court. That side also. The High Court judge was wrong. The High Court judge issued a bench warrant. So Munkoche Mamprisini na besi no Boku na Bano. Wabesha wona ben kwache no mra no ben kwache na yiri mra. What was that asem na eyehu? Ben kwache no mra no ben kwache na yiri mra. And this happened during the NPP government. So you see, the man says, hey, na, yes, Diana. Abaya, ya pemu, ya dimochi, ya nananuma dimochi, ya manfu abuamo, ubo man bia. He's associated with the NPP. If you mention Kusasi, he's associated with NDC. That is not it, but for the purpose of this discussion. So the man became agreed. No, of course, the Biamaka court no year from so on said. Nairi, and a man Bokuna young for court process of young woman. So I don't know where you should bench warrant. Say and coach. And it's like, why we are chimney with him. Imagine say you issue bench warrant say and coach. And now why we are going to with him. Imagine say court to issue bench warrant young coach. Yabonra. Why we are the gumbani. Imagine say court to issue bench warrant young coach. Yana. Now you can look at the scenario. You can look at the scenario. Why we are Navrungu. You can look at the scenario. So there's a problem now. MPP time, Nanado, Baumia, but the court has issued a bench warrant. So the man proceeds. Our more MPP say, we in Bonifo. Hey. Some Baumia will Cassani, Mumprusini, Wabani. And you know, so there 4 course and Comoko China Yiri. I want to live in go. My man, no me and send me BC. Ye BC, so they came back. So, and also by ye, now, Mama, Pokuna Banua. No ye man prisini no obeso akire na yiri no court issue bench warrant no na lawyer se court no e wo bolaga no court no twa na yiri die no but boku na ba no de no boku na ba no no ye man prisini no obeso akire na yiri no onre de court antwem. Meanwhile, the gazetted recognized Bokunaba, and who is the president of the Kusau traditional area, Abu Dragu, Ekusasi. That's all. So this man now will issue bench warrant tiano. High Court Boliga Enkem. He perceived so be an appeal court of appeal. And a court of appeal, Jan, a trap bench warrant. Won't any. So when court of appeal trap bench warrant. Now, won't any amount for the NDC, the MPP people are saying, sir, Nankopa, we are here. A 2 year, Danny, young Yahane, I am yesi no boko na ba ya no boko na ba wa bisa na eto ne yedene MPP for hwenhwe ama yedene ko high court hwenhwe ma no ba court of appeal ya nwene yan na yede ye ho ya nwene yede nyame ase aboa no kan tokwa o de the radio na ko so we are happy. So we brought another wheel. Now let's look at the scenario again. As I said, boku na ba no oye mamprisi ni no a mamprisi for friend boku na ba a obeso ai kire na yiri no a ba court of appeal obenwe ye no ono so de mi kurom ne boku me ni ba bia tana boku ya wo papa boku ya sefo mamprisi for there be ya tana boku for more than 100 years. It's like Ukonkana. It's like Bakumase, Ukotamaluko. So, the NDC had wanted, say, MPP are buying was Nanado was no. Ma Mampusini no Bokuna ban. Ma Wamma no ko Boko. The Baumia supporters felt that. Binums felt that. Hey, Okobokoa, Ebehadrin. Some of the Mampusis are saying that. Yeah. Now, the catcher and say, Ma onko boko. And they can wa him fa. Yaba hope mobi. Ya baby sawasem. Then you are telling us a monko boko. So the next time a man for him, yana oko with that state support, what you mean, ako boko. Problem about the NDC says, Yanka say MPP for me yet katasumi miaso. Beka ni be who. So bayama mampusi ni no okusa kire na yiri no. Wamama na sana baboko. Then people are saying, and I say, Binum so are saying, Asamba na mokai. Ma onko hose. Waba a picot, wabe dipem. Wanya no fa hudi. Wose ma onko ni krum, baby aye won, onko himfa. Onko himfa. And akofa. So that is the basis of the moderation. So why would hear me and now why would hear me this morning? It's a very delicate, very complex. And I've been saying, whether politics, whether law, whether chieftaincy, whether this, I've been saying that we need to be very careful and cautious with our comments. In fact, the recent the comments by President Mahama and Mama Yarga. The recent comment by Mama Yarga, President Mahama, and the NDC. That has brought this stalemate. It is a very delicate. Now, for I recommendations that come President Mahama. You name the contents. Nobody be any so cancer you name. But Odiama President Mahama. So we are waiting for President Mahama to tell us the contents and his view. We are waiting for President Mahama. But like I said, in my candid opinion, Adamu Medase, Aparbo Adamu Medase, Wafutu. In my candid opinion, let him free President Mahama, but who say me usuma batisi amsi. Because as some President Mahama no can during the campaign time no, a chira boko, a man kusasi for any no. So contract thing ba, a better than say President Mahama beka. And a campaign period, and so I see my President Mahama, who can't ya man kusasi for no, woman you bring a man or mubufu, you know. And now assemble na President Mahama woko ka kire mamprusifu wogiri se omubeti. Let's be very honest. Assemble na President Mahama woko ka because mamprusifu from besebede be sisi bason. Be be sisi bason. Bentiehwe because one okay, maybe I may say, may you kusasi for say, may you kusasi for say, may you woman say, may yo. Now can no abe president. Enti ene fa ho se wo ye mamprusi ni a. Asebe na President Mahama be kan wo mamprusi ni no. Wo beti. Ana wo ye kusasi ni susu a. President Mahama ka say oh, say ye ba. Hena ba akọ. Who will be the Kusasi? He will be controlling the whole Boko. From 7th January 2025 till today. On it, so we are Kusasi in Ukraine. Say, na Assemble na President Mahama kan. Ujidi se obetimi aye. Assemble na Mahama Yaroga kan. Ujidi se ombetimi aye. Assemble na Bambaben kan. Ujidi se ombetimi aye. No, mama de amenja membrason. And so now I've devoted the whole day for this Kusasi Mampusi issue. It's unfortunate. Abdullah said you cannot translate it on your full place. Well, Abdullah, I'm sorry. With passage of time, I'm sorry with passage of time. Please, I will not even mind them. I'm saying that Mahama also had 0 votes. Mahama also had 0 votes. If you doubt. I don't speak like any low-cost intellectual. I don't speak like a low-cost intellectual. I speak with facts. So me can't say man ubetia ebeboa because ene kusasi mampusi asem no Ghana ha hwan na wanya no atimi ama wa chiro mu sei. When I bet you say, I will not take sides. I mean taking sides. I know there is a gazetted Bokunaba, gazetted, who is Kusasi, and he's the president of the Kusel tradition. I know as a fact. I respect it as a fact. I obey it as a fact. But I also cannot lose sight of the fact that Mampusi Foswesi, Hene, Amanabisa. Menu shia one no bi sam sam kama dwena e bia meka na sa fidie so awiase nyina hwe me ni pa nyina tie mi tie and the oboa. Why? The answer is oboa. I'll keep it to myself. Madam I said now to say na e be shia atiefo nyina mo hwe ma mo ba chi nyina no. Madam I say you continue to give you a detailed analysis of issues. And Ghana, the farmers, Farmers Day. It was a better Kuafuase. But I say a bro margin, so your Farmers Day, not the CEO of Cocoa Board, no America. It is marginal. Me said, no matter what, your Farmers Day, na Cocoa, so your Ghana, the CEO of Cocoa Board, ought to have been in Ghana. But one can't tell some me kwa mama kwa kwa balloting or World Cup. No. Yeah, Ophelia Hoye on any crew of Tamale. Ophelia Hoye on any crew. The my firstborn Ophelia Obiri Boahen on any crew of Tamale. So the CEO, I don't see of Cocoa Board Nesoko. This is my personal view, but I think I still maintain it. I still hold on to my personal view and my position. It was wrong. Say the CEO of Cocoa Board or call US for ballot in Abrawa Moye Farmers Day. You are entitled to your views. Oh, again, me say it was wrong. So, Madam I said, now you said that you be here. So we are waiting for President Mahama. Now cannot be something until we did say we tune for recommendations. President Mahama beating ya yadena. Ni meya namse. No further comment. Me that's it.